Hello YouTube, it's PlayStation Gaming Scotland here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and gaming lots. So in today's video I just thought I'd jump in and talk about the 20 games that will be found on the PS Classic, which is coming out on December the 3rd 2018 for around £90 here in the UK. So we're just going to talk about the 20 games, give you my thoughts on the list of 20 games for the UK. There is a different list for the Japanese version of this, but this video will just be solely focused on the UK version, and the 20 games that will be included are Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy 7, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Drifter, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. Now I did say this is the UK version, coming on December the 3rd for £89.99 or 90 quid here in the UK. Now my first impression of this list is that yes, there's a lot of games on here that I haven't actually played before, but I will be jumping on and playing every single one of them. My first impression was that it's very disappointing, but I will still buy this, I will still get it at Christmas time, so there probably will be a video or some sort of review in early January 2019 for this game, or maybe just before then. But anyway, yes, the list is quite disappointing. There is a lot of games on here that I'm really wanting to play, such as Destruction Derby. Really had a lot of fun playing that with friends, took it in turns to try and knock each other off different buildings, and we had a lot of fun with the races. Final Fantasy 7, like never played a Final Fantasy game, but I've heard really good things about Final Fantasy 7 on PlayStation 1. Now the original Grand Theft Auto is coming on PS1 on this console. It's like, I'm sure it's this very first one's a top-down shooter, almost like a bird's eye view on the world. Now this was actually made in error because it was an actual glitch in the coding that made police cars chase the protagonist or your character in the game. And this then stemmed onto the GTA that we know now. So with Grand Theft Auto, I'm really looking forward to playing a top-down version of the original game in the franchise for that. There's a couple of puzzle games like Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash I've not played before. Metal Gear Solid, I've not played Metal Gear Solid before, so I'll be jumping on the first one to see what the action stealth game is all about. Got Mr. Drifter there, I think that's a puzzle game. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, cannot wait to revisit this game. This game is brilliant, just love this game. So next up we have Rayman. Now Rayman was one of my favourite 2D side-scroller games on PS1. It was really fun and enjoyable. Really enjoyed side-scrolling and killing the bosses, collecting the items, and it really had awesome graphics. So that was Rayman. So next up we have Resident Evil Director's Cut. I'm not a massive horror fan, haven't played Resident Evil games, so it'll be interesting to see what the first Resident Evil game was like on the PS1. Next up we have Revelations Persona. Now this is one of the first Persona games on the PS1. It's another JRPG game. So Persona has become very recently quite a popular franchise. It's been very slow in the uptake, and I will be jumping on to experience what the very first Persona game was like. So next up we have Ridge Racer Type 4, another conventional racing game. Really can't wait to play that. So next up we have Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. It seems to be a puzzle game on the PS1. Never played this game. Another one on the list I've not played. Will be interesting to see if it's more to do with Tetris or sort of like Candy Crush Saga type of game. Be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to playing and trying it out for the first time. Next up we have Siphon Filter. It's another game I haven't played, but I've heard really good things of this game. It seems to be an instant classic, so I can't wait to jump back on and play this for the first time ever. Now we have one of the best fighting games ever, Tekken 3. Absolute massive fan of the Tekken franchise. I've played majority of the Tekken games, and Tekken 3 was, I think, where it all started for me. And I have dabbled in Tekken and Tekken 2, but Tekken 3 with Harang and Law and all the other hidden characters as well was really fun, getting through the different stages and just having a blast with friends. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I've not really played Tom Clancy games much, so it'll be really good to jump back on and try this for the first time in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six on PS1. Nearly at the end of the list, so next up we have Twisted Metal. I really enjoyed playing one of the later versions of this game where you're driving around trying to blow up stuff and just have a lot of fun in the story mode. Now this is where it all started on the first one on the PS1, and finally we've got Wild Arms. I've not actually played this game, so it will be interesting to see what this entails. As I say, there are a lot of games on this list that I'm surprised aren't on it. Now, for me, being a big, massive Tomb Raider fan, there's not a single Tomb Raider game on this list. Pretty disappointing. Would have been good to revisit some of the old Tomb Raider PS1 games, especially the very first one where you're viewing the big T-Rex, and also in that big room where the water rises up and you race against time. Also, there's no Vagrant Story, there's no Legend of Dragoon, there's no Silent Hill. I remember playing Silent Hill at a friend's house, but he had an older brother that played it, and I remember there was a massive part of the game where he was going around in fog everywhere. Don't know how far into the game that is. We had his older brother in the room, so that was alright. So yeah, that was a really fun game. Obviously there's no Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, because we got the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy back was it last year, 2017, and also Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy's coming next week as of recording this video. We've got Final Fantasy 7 there. That's pretty damn good, I think. People wanted Final Fantasy 8. To be honest, I've not played Final Fantasy at all, so it will be a first for me to go back and actually play this series for the first time. There's no Chrono Cross, haven't played that game. People are really wanting that. There's no Gran Turismo 1 or 2. Played Gran Turismo 4 and 5, but I do prefer my burnouts and my Need for Speeds over that game. There's no Dino Crisis, which is a shame. There's no Papa the Rapper, but you can get a PS2 version on the PS4 store currently, so obviously that won't be there. There's no Resident Evil 2, but we're getting a Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019. There's no Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which is disappointing. But that was the first Tony Hawk. I can't remember which one was in the awesome first part of the level. I can't remember, but it was the early Tony Hawk games. I'm disappointed that none are on there. No Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, I know a lot of my friends played that back in the day. I've not played that. There's no Wipeout, what other ones, and there's no Crash Team Racing, but there was rumours that that's meant to be coming back in 2019 as a remaster. On the whole, the list is quite disappointing. There are some games that I really am looking forward to playing again, and also there's a lot of games on there that I've not played at all, which will be interesting to see how they play, going back to them all these years later, almost 20 years later. But yeah, the list is disappointing. As always, this has been my video of all the 20 games that are coming out on the PS Classic. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I've been PS Gaming Scotland, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks very much, guys. Bye bye.